Psalm 104. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O the Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with honor and majesty, wrapped in light as a garment. You stretch out the heavens like a tent. You set the beams of the chambers on the waters. You make the clouds your chariot and ride the wings of the wind. You make the winds your messenger, the flame and fire your ministers. You make the springs gush forth into the valleys. They flow from the hills, giving drink to every wild thing. The wild asses quench their thirst. By the streams, the birds of the air have their habitations. They sing among the branches. From your lofty abode, you water the mountains. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of your works. Good morning. I'm Mark Papke-Larson. I'm a member of First Lutheran Church, and I'm glad to be able to bring your devotions this morning. We're just about 150 or 200 yards from the Mississippi River, with a small bog swamp right behind us here. And the last few weeks I've been inspired by listening to the devotions that the staff at First Lutheran Church has brought us. What I've really found touching is that each one of them have looked into their own lives, and they've seen God's hands at work in their hands. They've seen God's creation in the world around them and the things that they do. And as I was thinking about that inspiration, I was so glad for it, because we need that inspiration in these days. For one thing, it's just been a long winter. It's been a lot of snow and a lot of deep darkness. But also, especially in the last 8 weeks, there's just been this corona crazy going on. Toss of masks and quarantines and body counts and viruses and all those things out there in the world that have made my world feel smaller or more boxed in. So with thinking about what the staff had done, I started to wonder, where is it that I feel grateful for God in this world? Where is it that I look out and give thanks? And one of them I realized was just sitting on my sofa and looking out the front window, seeing that grass finally turning green out there. We have a fruit tree that's just starting to get some buds on it. It's looking thick, maybe a fat robin, or just catching a glimpse of a goldfinch. And the other way that I find God and feel grateful for God is when I take a walk out in the woods. Like so many of us, you get outside and you feel the cool air on your back. You see the brown just starting to turn to green, the tops of the trees, the birches starting to get thick. It's just beautiful to see. And all those things inspire me to think not so much about my inside, but what's going on outside and the gifts that God has given me. And I feel grateful for that, grateful for those gifts. And one of the ways that I experienced that also was in a poem by Wendell Berry, and I'd like to share that poem with you. It's called The Peace of Wild Things, and it really, for me, speaks a lot about how God is in the midst of all of this life, and that when we take a moment, sometimes we can actually see and feel it. The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear what my life or my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests his beauty in the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting for their light. For a time, I rest in the grace of the world and am free.